Okay. So we are going to discuss the remaining parts of a polarographic technique, that is electroanalytical technique, polarography. So in today's lecture, we are going to discuss one of the important phenomenon or the important solution which is nowadays used in the polarographic technique, that is supporting electrolyte. Now, what is this basically? A supporting electrolyte which we are going to use when we are going to do the polarographic analysis. Now, this is basically used to eliminate the influence of electrical migration on the reducing ion. So, we have seen the types of currents or the types of current which are there in the polarographic wave. Those are migration current, diffusion current, residual current, and a stationary current. So, this electrolytic solution which is used to minimize, to eliminate the influence of migration current or the influence of the migrating reducible ions in the solution. For that, we are going to use a supporting electrolyte. Now, which solution we are going to use as a supporting electrolyte? We are going to use the high concentration solutions of, that is 10 to 20 times that of ions under the solution. So we are going to use the same solution of that ion which is more than or concentrated than the analyte solution, approximately about 10 to 20 times that of ion under the study of the inert supporting ion, to eliminate the attraction or the repulsion forces between the electrode and the analyte. So we can use the same solution having 10 to 20 times ions greater than the ionized solution as an supporting electrolyte. Or we can use the inert electrolyte ions at the applied potential range, so that the diffusion current is not recorded. So we can use a solutions of potassium chloride, potassium nitrate, or sodium chloride solution. These can be used as an electrolyte or the supporting electrolytes to eliminate the influence of reducing ions on the migration current. Now, this is very important phenomenon which we are going to use when we are going to measure the diffusion current, or when we are going to measure the polarogram. And this is the technique that we are going to measure the half wave potential. Now, what is the meaning of the word half wave potential? That is E half. That means it is a characteristic property of electroactive material. So here we are going to measure the E half value of polarographic analysis, which is a characteristic property of electroactive material. Now here it is a potential. Which one? Half wave potential is the potential which is found on the steeply rising portion. So this is a steeply rising portion of our electrogram, of our polarogram. So this is the potential which is found on the steeply rising portion of the current voltage curve, and it is one half of the distance between the residual and the limiting current. So this is one half of the distance between the limiting current and one half of the distance between the residual current. So this potential is known as half wave potential. So this is the one half from the limiting current and one half from the residual current. That potential is known as half wave potential, and this we are going to measure while we are going to do the polarographic analysis. So it is the potential at the point of inflection on the current voltage curve. It is a characteristic or specific for every electroreducible ion. So this potential is unique for every reducible ion or functional group, and it is remain constant, so that it is used for the identification of the ion. Like we all know, the melting point of some of the compounds, or the melting point is unique property for the identification of that substance. Boiling point is unique property. Gravity is unique property for that identification of the substance. Similarly, this half wave potential it is also a unique property or specific property, characteristic property of every electroreducible ion or functional group, which is remain constant. That's why, as it is constant, so that we can identify the presence of that substance by determining the half-wave potential. So at this potential, the 50% of the reducible and 50% of the oxidizable forms are present, because this is the half of the value from limiting current and half of the value from uh, residual current. So this is obtained E half value for a compound is compared with the standard values from the text or the reference substance can be identified. So uh, so depending upon these values, we can measure the presence and identification of that electroreducible substance. So the obtained E half value for the compound is compared. So here we are going to, how we are going to determine or how we are going to confirm the presence of that substance. So it is depending upon the E half value for a compound, which is compared with the standard values from the text or the reference, and the substance can be identified. So it is a quantitative aspect which is tool to identify a substance. So this is going to be a quantitative aspect for the measuring and identifying the substance. So this is the equation which will give the relationship between half-wave potential, applied voltage, and the diffusion current. So this is one of the formula and very important formula which will give the relationship between half-wave potential, applied potential, and the diffusion current. So applied potential, that is E, is equal to E half plus 0.0592 divided by N multiplied by log of difference between diffusion current minus uh, applied potential, or the diffusion current minus applied potential divided by applied potential. So it is the formula which will give the relationship where E app is equal to applied potential, E half is the half wave potential. This is the a constant value. Then N is nothing but the number of electrons involved in this electro reduction and oxidizable procedure. Then ID is the diffusion current and I is nothing but current at the applied potential. So amount of current which is flowing through the medium at this applied potential is nothing but I. So this is a formula which will give the relationship between these. Now we are moving towards a discussion on very important equation, that is Ilkovic equation. Now it relates between the concentration and diffusion current. See, in earlier case or the formula which we have discussed just now, which will give the relationship between diffusion current, half wave potential, and applied voltage. So this Ilkovic equation, which is the very important one, which will give the which will after studying this, which we can relate between the concentration of analyte which is there in the solution and the diffusion current, and which is also helpful in the calculation of the concentration of the electro-reducible as well as electro-oxidizable substance in the solution. So in the that is Ilkovic equation is equal to Imax is equal to 706N multiplied by D half C M 2/3 multiplied by T by 1/6. So this is a constant formula of Ilkovic equation used to determine the concentration of solute in the solution, where the Imax is diffusion current flowing through the mercury drop. So Imax is nothing but maximum amount of current flowing through that drop of mercury, which we have discussed in the dropping mercury electron. 706 is the a constant factor after combining number of numerical constant, which includes Faraday's and density of the mercury. Then N is the number of electrons which are consumed in the reduction of 1 mole of electroactive species. So these are how many number of, or the number of electron which are consumed when the reduction of 1 mole of the electron species is done. D is the diffusion coefficient of the reducible and oxidizable substance, which is to be expressed in centimeter square per second. C is the concentration in millimoles per decimeter cube of a substance. M is the rate of flow of mercury from dropping mercury electrode, which is expressed in milligram per second. And 3 is drop time in second. That is how much time that drop will be stationary on that capillary flow. So this is the formula, that is Ecovik equation, will give the results about a polarogram. So this is the polarogram which is to be obtained in the when there is effect of dissolved oxygen in the polarogram. So that's dissolved oxygen which is there in that water, which is to be used as a solution for the polarogram, in which the oxygen will also give the interference during this titration. So dissolved oxygen in the water is reduced in 2 steps. First, to hydrogen peroxide. So this dissolved oxygen in the water, which is reduced in this polarogram or this instrument in 2 steps. First step is through hydrogen peroxide, that is hydrogen peroxide, and then it is converted into water. So oxygen, when it is combining with the hydrogen and 2 electrons, it is converted into hydrogen peroxide. This formation of hydrogen peroxide, which is to be done at a potential 0.25. So here there is a formation of an that is effect of dissolved oxygen will be done. Then the second step of reduction takes place of the dissolved oxygen in the electroreducible substance, conversion of hydrogen peroxide into water, and this is generally done, or this is generally started at the minus 125 volts. So these are the values of starting the effect of oxygen or effect of dissolved oxygen. So dissolved oxygen interference is due to 2 equal oxygen waves. So there is formation of 2 equal oxygen waves in the polarogram. First wave is due to the effect of oxygen or effect of dissolved oxygen on the polarogram, and the second wave is due to the deoxygenation of the medium by adding, that is removal of this oxygen as it is interfering in the polarogram. So we are going to remove this oxygen from the solution before analysis, and this removal of this oxygen is done by the procedure ultrasonication, vacuum purging with the nitrogen as well as hydrogen gas. So by removing the effect of dissolved oxygen, the polarogram can be obtained in this. So this is removal of the oxygen or the removal of the effect of dissolved oxygen on the polarogram. Now, evaluation of the polarograms. We can evaluate the polarograms or polarographic graphs by 3 techniques: wave height concentration plot. So it is a concentration, a plot of height of the wave with the concentration. Then a plot of internal standard, that is pilot ion method. And the third will be method of standard addition. So the first graph, that is measurement of wave height or wave height concentration plot. So this plot in which a solution of several different concentration of the ions under investigation are given. If we are going to do the polarographic analysis, so we have to measure, we have to take the solutions of several different concentrations which are to be studied by polarographic analysis. and the composition of the supporting electrolyte and maximum suppressor can be added in this polarographic solution in both the solution, that is standard solution as well as test or unknown solution. In both the solutions, we are going to add supporting electrolytes. We are going to add the several different concentrations of the supporting electrolyte. Then we are going to measure the height of the wave, which is obtained in any conventional manner and plotted as a function of the concentration. So we are going to measure the height of the wave at different concentration. So polarogram of unknown solution or the test solution is produced exactly as the standard and the concentration read from the graph. So this type of graph can be obtained when we are going to use a supporting electrolyte. So this is a graph or the polarogram after using a supporting electrolyte, and this is a graph of potential at dropping mercury electron uh, versus supporting electrolyte concentration in volts. So these are some of the applications of polarogram, that we can analysis composition of the alloy which is there in metal analysis. We can also measure the applications of the purity of the elements, analysis of trace elements like copper, zinc, iron, lead, nickel, and manganese. Then organic applications, electro-reducible or electro-oxidizable functional groups can be determined by the polarographic technique, and a functional group can be interfered from the half-wave potential and guilty to the substance can be determined from the diffusion current measurements. Investigation of the influence of the diffused oxygen can be measured by the polarogram. In vivo analysis of the drop from the human blood, this is also can be done by using a polarographic analysis. And the last application of the polarographic analysis is detection and the quantification of the lead from human blood in the case of lead poisoning. The concentration of lead poisoning, if the concentration of lead which is there in our body, the concentration of the lead, whether it is poisonous or harmless, can be determined by the polarographic analysis. So this is a diagram of the polarograph which is to be used for the polarographic analysis, and this is here the nitrogen purging to remove the dissolved oxygen, supporting electrolyte, then reference electrolytes, and the washing electrolyte which is used in this analysis. Then, so in this way, this electrodes which is supporting electrolytes or the oxygen electrolyte, which are situated on the polarographic instrument. So this is a polarograph. So in this way, we are going to do the a polarographic instrument. Now, the polarographic instrument is going to be used or going to be analyzed by 4 different graphs, and those are direct current polarography, then normal pulse polarography, differential pulse polarography, and square wave polarography. So these are 4 types of graph can be obtained after analysis of the compound or the analysis of the solutions by the polarograph. So this type of graph can be obtained when we are going to do the study on direct current polarography. So in direct current polarography, constant potential is applied. We are not going to vary the potential difference across the current voltage curve, and we are going to take the polarogram. So this type of gram will be produced when we are going to keep a constant potential is applied during the entire drop lifetime. As we all know, the mercury drop will be stable for 3 to 6 seconds on that capillary tube. So when this drop is stagnant or stationary, we are going to apply a constant potential across this drop. A current voltage curve is constructed by applying a series of potential steps, each step being synchronized with the drop fall. So whenever the drop fall is there, every time there is increasing in the current flowing to the medium after every drop fall. So this type of graph will be obtained in the polarograph by using direct current polarograph. Now, alternating current polarography will produce this type of graph on the current voltage curve. Because different types of electrical signals or electrochemical cell to modify the improve of output signal. So here we are going to measure the alternating current polarography. The third technique which we are going to use to study the polarograph is Normus pulse polarography, in which the mercury drop electrode is held for most of its duration at the constant potential. So we are going to hold that drop for longer period of time at constant potential, at which no electrochemical reaction takes place under given experimental conditions. So if we are going to apply the same potential throughout the graph and the graph is also constant, so we can get this type of graph for the normal pulse polarograph. So the potential of the interest is applied in the last stage of the drop time for a length of the time Tp of the order of 2 milliseconds. So the values of duration of the current in the duration of the potential which is there in the mercury and the time required to stationary or time required for the drop to be stationary on that electrode is Tp, and they are kept constant throughout the recorded of the polarogram. So the polarogram which is to be obtained, it is in this way. So this is when the drop is there on the capillary, and after the drop fall, the current is negligible. Again, the drop is formed, and it will give the this type of graph. Now the next is differential pulse polarography. So the sensitivity of differential pulse polarography is more than the normal pulse polarography. So the potential sequence on single mercury drop and the potential sequence which is used for the recorded of entire difference pulse polarography. So the current which is flowing through the medium is sampled twice during the drop lifetime. Suppose as the drop is stationary on that capillary tube, so we are going to take 2 time readings just before the pulse. So when just before the formation of drop on the capillary, we are going to measure the pulse, and next the time t just before the drop fall. And the second potential or the second reading we are going to take when the drop fall. Before that, we are going to measure the potential. So the polarogram which is to be obtained in this way, that is before the formation of the drop and after the drop fall, this will give the polarogram in this way, and this graph is known as differential pulse polarography. And the last will be square wave polarography, which is more sensitive and low detection limits are it is similar to differential pulse polarography. However, the entire potential frequency applies during the lifetime of the single drop. So here we are going to apply a constant potential difference throughout the drop. So we are going to obtain a polarogram in this way. The voltagram is obtained in a few milliseconds compared to much longer time with the other techniques. So the potential frequency is applied. So in this way, we are going to take the graph which is elaborated here. The square wave polarography graph is elaborated here. So the voltagram is obtained in few seconds compared to the much longer time with the other technique. So this graph we are going to compare with the another technique, and the potential frequency is applied several seconds after the drop burst in order to make the advantage of larger surface area of the mercury drop. Because we are going to take that graph stationary or stagnant for more period of time. So we can get this type of graph in the square wave polarography. So these are different types of graph obtained in the polarographic analysis, and those are direct current polarography, alternate current polarography, pulse polarography, normal pulse polarography, differential pulse polarography, and square wave polarography. So these are different graphs which we can obtain on the polarographic